When you think of the Monterey Peninsula, you think of Pebble Beach. But right next door, Spyglass Hill offers what I would say is a more unique and challenging golf course. Spyglass offers so many different views of the Monterey Peninsula, from the holes early on in the round that hug the Pacific coastline, to the Del Monte forest that lead you back into the clubhouse. My whole trip I was looking forward to Pebble, but Spyglass was definitely a course I overlooked, as I would consider this one of the best golf courses I've ever had the chance to play. So we are back at it. First hole at Spyglass Hill is a wonderful par 5 that banks hard to the left. This was a decent drive, but the shot shape here is a draw, and that faded into the rough. I had an early morning tee time, so there was a lot of dew on the ground. And wearing spikeless shoes was the wrong choice.
There we go, that's how I planned it.
Despite the slip, this would leave me with just a wedge in.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, I would blade this over the back of the green. Can't really see the shot with the sunrise glaring, but that chip was a little too much, so we are putting for par.
Go in. Oh.
Flirted with the hole, but you can see these greens are lightning fast. Ooh, oh so close to going in, but as my mom used to say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So we move to the second hole. This is a short par 4. And if I could redo this club choice, I would. Driver was too much club. Even though I striped it down the middle, it would run through the fairway and into the rough. So now I have the ball below my feet. This is a wedge here from about 100 yards. I hit this one pretty well, but because of the lie, I had the ball faded on me. Would barely stay on the green right on the apron, putting for birdie. Not the greatest camera angle, I apologize, but that would leave me with about 2 feet for par. We'd secure our first par of the round. We move to the third hole, a short par 3. A little backstory before my round. When I was practicing, I was hosel rocketing all of my iron shots, which is the last thing you want to do when you're playing perhaps the 2 greatest golf courses on earth. So during this round, I was greatly exaggerating my takeaway to make sure I didn't hit any shanks, and that actually worked. We parred the third hole, back-to-back pars. Moving to the fourth hole, that is a terrible drive that worked out perfectly. I was actually aiming too far left. Ended up perfectly in the middle of the fairway, but the ball is above my feet for this approach shot. Once again, I slipped, but that was a decent strike. I just didn't have enough on it. Come up a little short, so we're chipping for birdie. And just to give you a visual of what this green looks like, yes, this is the shape of the green, very, very narrow. So I would have this putt for par. And even on an uphill putt, I somehow hit it past the hole. That was actually a lot more difficult of a putt than I would have liked, but I make it. So we end up with a bogey on the fifth hole. That is a 9 iron. Leaked that one a little out to the right. I would actually consider that poor alignment. I have a issue with that I cannot escape. Tried to get too cute with that chip shot, but I bladed it over the green. So we are chipping once again for par, but this one was much better than the first. Have a nice little tap in for bogey. The sun glaring 6th hole is a dog leg to the right, and it goes uphill. But none of that matters when you put it into the trees. We would have to unfortunately punch out.
Oh, can't even get back on the fairway.
Yes, that was a disappointing chip shot, but at least we have a view at the hole now. That is a 9 iron from 130 yards. Really had to punch out of that thick rough, but we would be a brown pin high for this par putt.
So afraid of it.
And I did not give enough respect for that bogey putt. We would tap in for a double bogey. Kind of disappointing there. 7th hole. Kind of more of the same from the 6th hole. My driver completely abandoned me. Certainly not the other way around.
Don't know what's out there. Maybe another fairway.
Not another fairway, but we found some trees, so we have to punch back out onto the fairway. and yet again, it did not reach the fairway. This is another layup since this hole doglegs to the right. I cannot hit it over those trees, so I have to bail out left. We did that successfully, which is nice. This is a pitching wedge from 130. That swing was much better, much controlled. Came up a little short, but we are putting for par. It was amazing how smooth these greens at Spyglass are. They are so much smoother than the ones at Bandon. It did take some time getting used to. As you'll see in the back nine, I putted a little better. But 8th hole here, finding the fairway.
There we go. That only took 8 holes.
We're going back uphill once more with our approach shot. 142 yards. This is an 8-iron. Came down a little steep at that, but I did hit it solid, and we would be very close to the pin on this. Trying to make up for the 2 previous holes, but we pull that left. We'll tap in, sort of. I guess we will call that a gimme, and we'll move on to the 9th hole. Yet again, hitting uphill. Getting my confidence back with the driver.
I think I may have figured it out now.
Definitely figured it out. Stay tuned for the back nine that'll come out later this week. The driver was hot. The irons were hot. The putting was hot. It was a very good back nine for me. So that was a 6-iron that leaked a little left, chipping on. Gave it a little run. And I'm trying to finish the front nine on a positive note, but we pulled it left.
Oh my God.
Ended our front nine with a bogey, and overall I shot an 8 over 44. Playing from the white tees, this course is still very difficult, and it doesn't help when you're hitting tee shots all over the place. But as I mentioned earlier, my game turned around drastically in the back nine, so stay tuned for some good golf. And please make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified when that next video drops, and I'll see you on the 10th at Spyglass Hill.